All right, guys, welcome back to the WCS Europe Challenger League. My name's Kyle Laris alongside Targa here for the final series of the night, which will be between Mr. MaNa and FireCake from Vegas Squadron or...
Vegas Squadron.
Yes, something like that. So let's just jump straight on in here to our first game between MaNa and FireCake. They're already good to go here. They want to get things rocking and rolling as quickly as possible, as we have. Spawning down to the bottom left, we have Mr. FireCake as our blue Zerg. And spawning up to the top right, we have Mr. MaNa as our red Protoss.
Yeah, and so far, MaNa is playing a bit differently than Bishu. He's going to go for the Forge expand, or Nexus first at least. And he's also drone scouting, probe scouting. So he gets a really fast scouting. And he's also doing some harassment on the mineral line. I mean, he's already blocking one of the patches. This is like, it's a bit annoying, but it's very easy to deal with.
Yeah. Just not really much to do there. We have that pylon going down. MaNa here is going to go for that Nexus first. Just making sure that that pylon doesn't block that Nexus, of course.
Yeah.
We'll throw that down in a second. So very economical opening here from MaNa to kick things off. I'm curious as to how confident he feels in his PvZ now, because for the longest time I've spoken to MaNa and he's never really felt truly confident in this matchup.
Yeah, he, at least before, he used to all-in almost every game. Like, even if he took a third base, it was still an all-in. Like, he would do some kind of like double Colossus all-in, like 2 robos making Colossus, then a lot of stalkers and all-inning. I've never really seen him go for a macro game in PvC. I think that he might have had trouble with the Broodlords late game. So that might be one of the reasons why he didn't want to play macro.
Are we talking about in Wings of Liberty?
In Wings of Liberty.
Right, okay.
Because lately I haven't watched too much of MaNa's play.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure how he plays nowadays. We also have to mention that we're playing on, or they are playing on Daybreak, and this is a really good map for Swarm Host.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially if you play it the way that Stefano has been playing it, with a lot of Swarm Host Queens and Vipers. It's almost impossible for Protoss to attack through the middle, so they have to fly around with Warp Prisms and so on. And also, even if they go for Tempest, there will be a ton of Spore Crawlers waiting for the Tempest, as well as Vipers and Queens.
Pull them in.
Yeah.
Scary, scary stuff. And, you know, MaNa, he's probably well aware of those kinds of things. So we'll see what he wants to actually pull out here. I think that if I had to judge on how many times I've spoken to MaNa about this matchup, how many times I've seen his games, then he will want to avoid that at any given opportunity, and we'll go for something a bit more mid-game focused, trying to hit some timings there. But other than that, I haven't seen FireCake's PvZ other than what we saw against Bishu, and Bishu was just going for crazy stuff anyway. So
yeah. Now the interesting thing will be, is MaNa going to go for a Stargate or a Robo? I think that Stargate is quite normal nowadays, because no Protoss players really want to play against Muta.
Yeah.
They're all afraid of it, especially if they don't have the multitasking required to deal with it. And as we can see, MaNa put down a Stargate. So he's most likely going to start Phoenix production, take down the Overlords, and then try to do some light harassment.
From that point on afterwards, probably will follow that up with Robo into maybe Twilight Council as well. That's normally what we would see from MaNa if he wants to secure himself a third base and doesn't want to go for something crazy like some insane 2-base Void Ray play. But aside from that, for now, he is just stable on these 2 bases. No aggression coming here from FireCake. And FireCake is up to 44 drones, with 4 more on the way. So very, very heavy macro here.
Yeah, he has 2 gases so far, which is pretty normal at this point. Also putting down a Roach Warren. So he doesn't really know what's going on. He obviously saw the Phoenix though.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. Oh wait. No, he didn't see anything.
Ah, okay.
It was just the Stalker that hit the Overlord. Okay, so MaNa is sending out the Mothership Core, a probe, so I think he's gonna fix some aggression. He wants MaNa to, MaNa wants FireCake to overreact, but it doesn't look like he's reacting too much, actually. He's just making 8 links.
And now with that, well, and 6 roaches here. So just trying to kind of keep himself very, very sturdy here against everything that can occur. And Mothership Core will end up being pushed back. So curious to see what MaNa's actually going to go for in terms of how many gateways he's going to throw down. Just 2 more here. Overlord's on the way in, and we'll see those gateways.
Yeah, and the Phoenix, he has 3 now, so he should be moving out.
Yeah.
Or is he going to wait until he has 4? I mean, FireCake is already making Spore Crawlers, so it's not that good to wait, actually.
He likes himself some Spore Crawlers.
And he's also making an Overstir.
That's interesting, though, how, I mean, we've already seen FireCake be very preemptive about the Spore Crawlers initially, and then from this point on, MaNa opening up this Stargate play, it's not going to be as effective as it would normally be, despite FireCake not scouting out that Stargate at all.
Yeah, but MaNa is most likely going to warp in a lot of Zealots now. He has a proxy pylon up, and I think he's just going to try to control the area between the 3rd and the 2nd base with the Phoenixes, while he has Zealots running around.
That's a pretty cool idea. And with that, he's going to try and throw down even more Spore Crawlers here to try and kind of cordon off this area. It's very important to make sure that you don't take too much damage from these Phoenix, but behind this, the Robo's going down. I'm surprised he hasn't thrown down the Twilight Council yet if he's going to go for 3rd base.
Yeah, and now he just warped in Zealots into his natural for some reason. He still haven't used the proxy pylon. Maybe he's afraid of some counterattack. Because he saw that the FireCake had a lot of units, but it shouldn't be enough units to actually do some damage. So I'm not sure. Like he wants to take a 3rd base now, but he could have done this much earlier, or way earlier.
Having a little bit of a look around. We'll see Robo Bay very quickly here. As well as that 3rd Nexus actually going down for MaNa. I'm curious, did he just see that probe going there? I think he may have done. Something was under attack over there, so...
Yeah, he saw there was a link.
Yeah, okay. So getting that pickup, pretty nice. The Infestation Pit's going to go down as well here for FireCake. I can only assume that he wants to go on to Swarm Hosts pretty darn quickly. Yeah. But he's not getting range.
Yeah. I mean, he might go for a Hive and Ultras, but it's not very good at this map. That's what he's going to do. Yeah. It's incredibly hard to get the correct fights on this map. Like, you really want to flank and so on, but with there's so many small paths where MaNa can build gateways to block the Ultras. Also, it's like very easy to control the middle base. So I don't really agree with going Ultras on this map, especially when Swarm Hosts are absolutely insane.
I have to ask Tugger, I've seen this a few times. I've seen people going for 4 Infestors without pathogen glands. Can you give me a good reason as to... Is it just a very, very small committal to Infestors and not making more from that point on?
I think it's a mistake.
You think?
Yeah.
Right.
There's no point at all in doing this.
All right, well, then with that, we'll see how this is actually going to work out. He's getting all right creep spread going into the middle of the map here, as well as how many queens does he actually have? He has 7 queens out right now, along with Baneling Nest as well. So Fungals into Banelings rolling into it, I guess. This could be an option.
Yeah, and MaNa even knows about the Hive, so he should be preparing for the Ultras. I mean, he should get a few Colossus out, and then just start the Immortal production, as well as maybe get some Archons and High Templars.
I'm looking at units lost, and it's, well, resources lost at least, 1,350 to 500. So the Phoenix have done quite a good job here, and they're going to get another Queen yet again. But how many Phoenix will he lose? The answer is none. Even moves his other Phoenix in the range to try and tank some damage there, but he didn't have to.
Yeah, this is... it's a bit annoying. I mean, MaNa's doing a decent job with the Phoenixes. He also now spotted the Lynx, so he's probably going to move out with a small... with a few Zealots and clean this up again.
And now with that, I mean, the Ultras Cavern's finishing up, along with Adrenal Glands and 2-2 going down, so... whoa, he's getting a lot of drones out. Extra 12 here. I guess he's just going to make a lot of static defenses in the middle of the map. But how, if you're playing the style on Daybreak, where you're getting a lot of Ultras out and your opponent's on 3 bases and you can't really break them too easily, how are you feeling here? Is this something that do you feel comfortable in this position as the Zerg?
I wouldn't, because I know that the Ultras are not going to do too much.
Right.
I mean, there might be one timing where he can do some damage. Like Demaga could probably do some damage with this.
Yeah.
But MaNa has a very good idea what's going on. Now he's even making Void Rays. I think it's a good choice against this. And he also has 2 Robos out now, and he's making 2 Immortals at a time. He also stopped at the 3 Colossus, which is the perfect amount, I think.
Yeah.
And again, still, all the Phoenixes are alive. He has decent map control. He knows what's going on. And he even has a Zealot blocking the potential 5th base of FireCake. And another thing to mention is that FireCake actually has a lot of roaches this game as well. And as I mentioned last game, at this point they're useless. He needs to find some way to trade them.
Yeah.
But then also they should be able to do some kind of damage.
And now with MaNa actually kind of climbing up in terms of his army composition as well. It's 107 army supply to 87. But again, there's going to be a lot of Immortals mixed in. He's even getting Warp Prisms added on to try and go for some aggression around the other sides of the map. How well is FireCake going to try and cordon off what he needs to? He's got a few spines around his main, but that's about it. And he's going to try and trade some of these roaches.
Yeah.
So.
It's the correct thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think the best thing for him to do now would be to make a ton of spines, blocking off his fort base, like 20 to 30 spines, and then making a big army. And then attack when you have a big enough army to remax with something else. Or even if you can remax with Ultras as well, I guess. But it wouldn't be as good. I mean, the best thing would be to remax with Swarm Host or Broodlords.
And now FireCake here, he's getting out every single upgrade he possibly can do, including Neural Parasite. So I guess he could try and catch some of these Immortals as well as maybe the Colossi, but with the amount of High Templars that are out as well, 4 High Templars with full energy, MaNa's army looks so strong.
Yeah, and they're also going to get sniped by the Colossus, I think, if they move in for a Neural Parasite.
Now even a little bit of a Ling run by. How well can he actually get into this base though? Not easily, as there are Pro Pylons even warping in to try and block that off, along with some Zealot aggression trying to kill off that base up to the top left, but it doesn't in the end. The Zerglings are just going to get cleaned up. Oh, they do manage to get him.
Oh, and they kill a few probes, actually.
Oh, that was an alright trade then.
Yeah.
And then they get sliced up. But anyway, aside from that, it's still a lot of Void Rays being added on. Well, a 3rd one now in production, along with 5 Immortals in this comp. This army of MaNas is just becoming a little bit too strong here for FireCake to probably deal with.
Yeah, but I mean, FireCake really needs to get a spine wall now. And and I'm very surprised that MaNa's not harassing more with Warp Prism. Like, now he's starting with his first Warp Prism, but FireCake already had units there, but he moved them away. I'm not sure if he saw it or not.
And still, somehow, MaNa is being able to clean up some of these creep tumors in the middle of the map with just an Observer and a few Zealots. He's actually just going to go for the engagement right now, though. Where are those Phoenix? They need to actually pick up what they want in the back here. Maybe some of the Infestors, maybe some of those Queens, but you already got some of the nice feedbacks off and down this army as well. There isn't that many more Ultralists left over, but at the same time, they have cleaved through a lot of this army, along with Lings and Ultras actually sweeping in from the south. Pretty even trades in the end. The army of MaNa kind of got disintegrated, and FireCake's trying to max out with 10 more Ultras and 56 Zerglings behind this.
Okay, so with this remax, he might be able to do a lot more damage. For some reason, MaNa was moving out. I think he needs to go back, add cannons, a ton of Zealots.
Yeah, this is... I mean, he really doesn't have that much of a bank in the end now behind this. So, unfortunately for him, I don't know whether or not he's going to actually recuperate everything he needs to deal with this. The Zerglings are already threatening to the south. They're threatening to the north, but not too well. This is tough for MaNa.
Yeah, they take down the 4th base, or the 5th base, and they might do some damage at the 3rd base if MaNa is not reacting to them.
He walled it all off once again, but the Zerglings are going to try and target down that Nexus. They do have Adrenal Glands, so they're doing a lot of damage considering how little surface area they actually have on this Nexus. More Zealot Warpins here down to the 3rd as well. Oh, it's almost killed the 3rd.
Yeah, and now he's trying to take down the 4th base.
And he gets the Nexus in the end.
Oh, this is not good for MaNa.
No.
I mean, he's still on 3 bases, or actually he's on 2 bases, because the main is mined out.
Yeah.
He's rebuilding his 3rd base, but right now he can't really do anything.
No, you're right. The fact that there's 10 Ultralisks out on the field, and if his opponent's army actually clumps up, it's just going to get absolutely torn to shreds. Is very, very hard for MaNa to now to deal with, along with those Zerglings that are trying to do something as well. He's spread his army out in every single location. He wants to come in from all sides, does FireCake, but he's going to get caught a little bit off guard here. He's swinging in on the minimap from every single angle. He sent us some of the Zerglings into the natural.
Really nice engagement, but MaNa is on top of it.
Yeah.
Storming everywhere, kills all the Lings. And now the Immortals are just going to have a fun time killing the Ultras.
Yeah, this went a little bit weird there for FireCake in the end. The Zerglings didn't really do much for that run by. That could be the opportunity here for MaNa to really kind of get back into this game very, very heavily.
Yeah, but he needs more Immortals.
Yeah. There's still only that Ultralist production on the way, and he's so committed to that Ultralist production right now.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
Oh, okay, now he starts meter production.
See, that's Caster's curse for you, man. That's what you've got to get used to. Forgot about those fire. But there you go. 20 Mutalisks, and how much anti-air do we actually have? We have, well, 5 Archons. There's still the Phoenix on the map.
Yeah, but the Phoenixes are getting killed. Or they were getting killed by Fungal. At the same time, FireCake still has a lot of Lings alive.
And he's going to get another Nexus. Nice pick off there for FireCake. Really trying to keep MaNa back at home here. But he did get that expansion in the middle. All right, these Mutalisks, what can you do? You've got +1 weapons. You're going to have a few Corruptors join you as well. They can't actually kill off that anti-air in a direct engagement, but they can certainly do a lot of harassment in the back.
Yeah, they should be able to kill a lot of pylons in the main base. Maybe even take out the Stargate.
That'd be nice.
Oh, but MaNa is doing a really good job controlling these Phoenixes. Also, the Void Rays are coming in. And FireCake can't fight this, I think.
Yeah, he has to be
careful, really careful.
He has to be very, very on top of his control, does MaNa. He will pull back for now with those Mutalisks, but killing off that Stargate, as you rightly pointed out, is very, very important. There was a little bit of an engagement over to the side of FireCake here, but he will have to pull back for now. Those Archons, are they going to do the damage? Oh, look, with Storm as well. Oh, God. How many did he lose? 10
or so, I think.
Oh, geez. Well, actually...
And now they're all red.
Yeah, they can't engage anymore. And if they do, they're going to get slaughtered.
Yeah, and FireCake doesn't have enough spines to protect his bases.
This game, what is going on?
What happened?
I have no clue, my friend. Well, MaNa is just going to ransack this base up to the top right. A few Colossi did get caught out by the Mutalisks, so that's a good pick off for him. And he's also got a few more Mutalisks on the way. So he's still going to be up at around 30 Mutalisks. MaNa needs to just focus everything on anti-air. And if he can, then, well, he can't engage this army once again.
Yeah, I'm a bit unsure what FireCake wants to achieve with this. Like, right now he's just flying around with his Muta.
Yeah.
And he can't defend. And also, I don't think he can attack MaNa either, because there's a lot of Stalkers and High Templars left behind.
Now, the fact that the Storms are there is just absolutely scary, especially if he does that. He gets some really nice Storms there, retains a lot of his Archons as well, and he just killed another 15 Mutalisks in that engagement. Ouch. What a game. In terms of MaNa being able to persevere against what FireCake actually had, but then again, FireCake had some dicey kind of decisions in terms of what he wanted to go for.
Yeah, I guess that's the biggest difference between a really good Zerg player and a good Zerg player.
Yeah.
He did the wrong decisions. I mean, he took a really good fight initially, because, but I mean, he's going to clean up this army. But it's going to be hard for him to do any damage after this.
Yeah, the Zealots are still whacking away at that hive. They're actually going to bring it down along with those 2 Immortals. I think it's going to be very, very close. Does he realize that the 3 of the Zealots are still there?
Oh, now he did.
He pulled away for a second, and he does save his hive. Whew. All right, okay. Income, not looking too hot for our Zerg player. 120 minerals income.
Yeah, he only has 12 drones left as well.
Look how many Stalkers there are, as well as those High Templars. There's just no way that FireCake can prevail.
There's one way. If MaNa really, really screws up, then there's always a possibility that the Muta can do something. But at this point, it's highly unlikely.
So many Stalkers now. +3 weapons on those guys.
Yeah, and 4 High Templars with Storms. Some of them have 2 Storms.
Yep, and I think these Mutalisks might end up flying into this entire army if he's not careful. Ooh. Well, the Observer saw them, but at the same time, FireCake was lucky to spot this army with that Overlord. Otherwise, they would have flown straight into the path. Although I can only imagine that FireCake is watching his mutas like an absolute hawk, knowing that that's his only opportunity to really come back in.
And he doesn't really have anything else to watch.
Yeah.
This is everything he has at this point.
Getting a few more mutalisks out. He's up to 15. He's going to have 17 very soon. Trying to poke in here, but I think he has to just deny this army from really doing any damage here, as MaNa could quite easily just run around the map and kill off all the buildings. Because even if FireCake wanted to go for a base trade scenario, he doesn't have any money to make any buildings himself.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
Also, like, he's taking these fights. He just killed 4 stalkers, but in return he lost a couple of muta, and it's not worth it.
Killing off some extractors here. MaNa is just going to kill off what he can methodically. And, well, apparently he didn't kill that extractor off, but he knows he can come back for that later on. The drone's trying to flee out, but they don't have any money to really make anything. He can make 2 extractors. That's it at this point. Bye-bye, Hive.
And there's no chance at all for FireCake to take down the 3rd base of MaNa. There's 2 Eye Templars, 6 Stalkers, a couple of cannons.
Yeah.
This is not looking too good at the moment.
Wow, what a game 1 here between these guys. It was really back and forth, really quite scrappy, and some weird engagements. But in the end, MaNa seems to be prevailing very, very nicely. There's once again a few spines up here for FireCake as he tries to hold on. But the storm goes down and decides to shoo away those mutas once again. It's looking good in game number 1. And, well,
yeah, he wants to defend his main base with 3 spines and the few mutas that he has.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is going to work, but or how he thinks that this might work.
Yeah. Just drawing it out, man.
Yeah.
Trying to, I don't know. I mean, in this situation as a pro gamer, if you're this up against the wall and you're not gonna GG, like, what's your mindset there?
You're always thinking that your opponent can mess things up. I mean, we're all human, so we do mistakes. And there's always a possibility that your opponent might do something stupid. But at this point, even if MaNa starts throwing away units and doing no damage at all, it's going to take FireCake a long, long time to tear down the army.
Blinks on forwards, gets a few mutalisks there, as well as throws down that storm. There's a lot of stalkers here, though. They're trying to pin him in.
He's trying to flank it.
Actually, he's going to get very, very trapped. And there you go. GG for game number 1. MaNa will take it. And that means now we will move on to game number 2 here in just a second. MaNa 1 game away from grabbing himself that Premier League spot. And if that happens, then it is indeed those 2 normal players that we would actually see go rise up through the ranks there to take those Premier spots. But FireCake still has an opportunity to upset.
Yeah, I mean, the first fight that he had, it went really well for him. It was after that he started taking all these bad decisions. Like, he, at one point where he was setting up the insane flank, if he had fought MaNa instead of just sending the links randomly around and die, he would have won the game, I think.
Yeah, it was overthinking a situation, I guess.
Yeah, and also perfect storms by MaNa.
Yeah.
He couldn't have asked for better storms.
All right, so game number 2 is going to be on Achelon Wastes. Daybreak was FireCake's pick. So now we are on Mr. MaNa's pick, which is Achelon. And we shall see if he's able to take the 2-0 here to round up the day. Hopefully we'll be getting going very, very soon. But a big thank you guys for joining us here for Challenger. And actually, we've just been informed before that the official WCS portal is now online and good to go. You can check that out, wcs.battle.net, for all of your WCS coverage. And obviously, you can check out our website at wcs.esl.eu for Season 1 news. And I'm pretty sure we'll be updating that with Season 2 very soon. So, countdown's begun. Targa, Achelon Wastes, MaNa versus FireCake. Place your bets.
MaNa.
Yeah.
I think he's going to play the same way he did in the first game. I mean, he seemed confident enough to go into a macro game. And nothing really happened in the game. Like, he controlled his Phoenixes pretty well, did some damage. But he never did any aggression with his gateway army. He took a 3rd base really, really late, which usually means that you're confident that you're going to win. If you take a 3rd base earlier, it's like a lot more greedier. It's like you're kind of hoping that your opponent won't attack.
Yeah.
I mean, MaNa, I don't think he even saw the first units that he tricked FireCake into making. But still, he took a very late third base and just macroed from there.
Alrighty, well, we'll jump into game number 2 here, as we have Mr. MaNa going to be playing against FireCake, Gosu shirt user, as we have now. Spawning up to the top left-hand corner as our blue Zerg. He goes by the name of FireCake. One game away from staying in Challenger, and spawning down to the bottom right as our red Protoss. One game away from Premier. He goes by the name of Mouse MaNa. All right, so it's going to be, let's go with the Nexus opening again, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a Nexus first. He's also scouting very fast. And he's going to see everything. Again, FireCake is most likely going to go for spawning pool first. It doesn't seem like he likes to take risks, which at this point is, I would recommend taking a few risks at this point. MaNa is a better player, I think. Not that much, but against a better player, you should be able to take a few risks.
How have you locked your camera like that?
I have no idea.
Targa's managed to lock his camera like this. I'm not quite sure how you've managed that, but all right.
I'm just going to click on someone else. That fixed it.
Okay. Good stuff, good stuff. With that now, we have that Forge on the way, actually, before Nexus first. I'm kind of surprised by that, but whatever. I guess, well, because the choke is quite big.
And maybe he wants to make a cannon at FireCake's second base, just to delay the... No, he doesn't. He still made the Nexus first, but at least he let the pylon finish. And he... Okay, so FireCake is making 4 links. He really doesn't want to take the third base, it looks like.
Wow. Yeah, the opportunity cost is kind of skyrocketing there. He's got up to 450 minerals right now.
And I wonder if MaNa's going to put down a pylon here as well. He doesn't have the money for it yet. Okay. So FireCake made the hatchery. Also, the pylon is going to get destroyed. It doesn't matter. Like, this doesn't do a whole lot. I mean, that's 100 minerals lost for MaNa. He's also getting supply blocked right now. And he's going to lose the probe. And he forced 4 links out of FireCake. And also the third base is slightly delayed.
Yeah.
All in all, it's like an even trade.
Okay. And, well, I suppose with that now, with Cybernetics core going down and that wall finishing up for MaNa, he's going to be very, very sturdy against any kind of earlier link pressure that would come along, but very, very unlikely that that would occur on these 3 hatcheries. As for now, well, FireCake, for all of his little downfalls, he did get a very, very nice scout off and knows exactly everything that is going on down to the detail. So at least he does have that in his pocket right now.
Yeah, there's not too much happening though, so when the important stuff starts happening, he won't have an overlord here. MaNa is actually made a zealot to wall, which is, I'm not sure if it's something that he always does, but it's always good to be safe.
Yep, you're right. Very, very important to be safe. Good control there, actually, by MaNa. Killing off that Zergling with that Zealot. Would have got away if he hadn't have microed it as well as he did do. Very, very subtle, but still important. As for now, FireCake just grabs himself that creep very, very quickly from that third base. I like that, to be honest with you. If you can get it extended out from that third base and into the middle of the map, that'd be very, very helpful against MaNa.
Yeah, and FireCake actually saw that MaNa chrono boosted this gateway. That's why he's already making 6 links.
Ah, okay. Did wonder why those were coming out, but there you go. He knows exactly what's up and what's going on, as that Mothership core is going to be moving out with this army. It's a bit annoying to deal with the, I guess, diversity in the little small army that MaNa can actually send out with that Mothership core, but still, Zerg players have become really, really accustomed to dealing with this nowadays.
Yeah, this shouldn't do too much. Might get a queen kill if he really commits, but no, it looks like he wants to go back.
Yep, and will do. That queen poking away at that Mothership core, not allowing it to really get too close. Just 3 queens across the 3 base right now, nothing extra. And MaNa does not have 4th gas yet.
No, he's on 3 gases and he's making a robo.
Yeah.
Now the 4th gas. If this is an immortal all-in, it's going to be the latest all-in ever.
Yeah.
But it looks like he wants to take a third base.
Wouldn't be surprised, as he does send that probe down there to move into location. FireCake will see this exactly as it goes down, though. And he is going to lose an Overlord that is trying to scout out what it can see. Will he see the Robo? There is a little bit of a skirmish at the front, but once again, MaNa could recall home quite nicely. And he didn't see the Robo, I don't think.
No. But I think FireCake might be aware that this is happening. Because he's still droning up. He hasn't made any spores, rock rollers yet. And he's playing this quite normally. Oh, is he gonna get it? Oh, he almost got the creep tumor. That's actually a big thing when you're only on... well, now he made a 4th queen, actually. If he was only on 3 queens, getting this creep tumor kill, that's terrible.
Well, he did not, so that's all good here for Mr. FireCake. The layer is on the way, and now with that MaNa, can grab himself that 3rd base, but... whoops. My camera just completely spazzed out. But the Overlord has not really seen the 3rd base. It saw a pylon going down, so you can pretty much infer that that's going to be the case. 2nd Immortal's on the way here, though, already.
More gateways and a really fast robotics play.
Yeah. So I guess he just wants to secure himself this 3rd base here with the Robo Bay and try and keep himself sturdy there. But for now, the melee upgrades are on the way once again for FireCake, so he's going to be playing the Ultralisks again.
Yeah, it looks like that's his style. I mean, it's on this map it's a bit better.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like overcommit on Ultras. I would make a few and then try to get some Vipers and maybe do some, maybe pull out a few units, get them killed, and then tech switch to Brewlords or Muta. That's the best way of doing or playing against Protoss at the moment, at least in my opinion. Swarm host on this map, like it can work, but it's one thing is that it's very boring to play, and the other thing is that the Protoss players are getting much better at dealing with the swarm host.
Is MaNa this 4th base that 3rd base that he's taking is really late? Is he trying to fake out?
I think so.
Yeah.
This is a build that was done in GSL, I think, by SOS. I'm not entirely sure. But it looks like it. Yeah, so it's going to be 2 Colossus, a lot of sentries and stalkers.
Well, he's going to have to kill this with just Lings and Roaches alone. He actually does not have a Spire out right now. Doesn't have Pathogen Glance for Investors. Doesn't have anything other than Lings and Roaches. This could be scary.
Yeah, very scary. Oh, he's making Banelings. Okay, so he must be hoping that MaNa does some kind of mistake. Because as long as his force fields are okay, the Colossus will just target down the Banelings and they won't do any damage at all. But let's see. If MaNa attacks now, he might be in a bit of a trouble. But he sends out the Mothership Core first.
Yeah, see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, so he needs to be very careful.
He sees the Banelings. He sees just a few Banelings. He has a few force fields here as well. He tries to focus down some of those and will actually catch them not only with Time Warp but also with force fields. Look at those force fields cordoning off so many of those Banelings in the back there. That being said, though, there's not that much ground forces left over here for MaNa, as he is trying to control those Colossi as best he can do. But MaNa will prevail through here, and that Warping might actually cause a lot of damage as well. A lot of the Zerglings try and flood on in, but it's not going to be enough. MaNa might just take it right here.
That was beautiful play by MaNa. Perfect force field, perfect time warp.
Yeah, it was really worked so nicely in tandem with one another, and now FireCake is scrambling to try and deal with this. Unit Counting Station, all of his supply is basically in his drones. He's got army supply of like 63, but still, the fact that the Colossus are still here, still alive, still getting so many kills, means that MaNa can power on forwards once again, and he now takes the supply advantage, making it very hard for FireCake.
At this point, it's going to be very hard for FireCake to at least keep his 3rd base. Maybe he might stabilize with on 2 bases, but that's never a good thing. He even sent his drones to attack.
Yeah, and that's probably going to be it here, guys. With those drones ended up dying off and these Roaches at the back not really doing the damage they need to as well. MaNa just continually really piling on the pressure, and FireCake just did not read this quickly enough. Only having Roach, Ling, Bane against this. It's so hard to deal with.
Yeah, and I don't think I think he noticed that there wasn't a 3rd base way too late. And
well, GG.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
But seriously.
But seriously, I felt this is so unfair. Oh, okay. I'm just, okay.
Time to leave.
Okay, GG.
Congrats.
GG and done.
Yeah, congrats to MaNa. Really well played.
Congrats to MaNa for advancing on to Premier League once again. So Thorzane and MaNa advance on from Premier for today, meaning that not really many upsets or anything like that. FireCake played well, but in the end was not able to fully prevail.
No, he kind of upset Bishu though. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
not many people expected him to beat Bishu because Bishu's a really good player.
Yeah.
Still, he had a good chance of beating MaNa, but he just didn't play. Well, he didn't make the correct decisions in game 1, sadly. And in game 2, MaNa, I don't think there's anything you can do with that army composition that FireCake had. I think you need a way different army composition to beat that.
Well, that's going to wrap things up for today, I believe. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure casting for you. Tomorrow, we are going to have Nurtio, MC, Wellmu, and Dark Hydra playing in Group H. And I believe you're going to be back tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. So you can tune in tomorrow for WCS EU Challenger Division with myself, Kyle Aris, and Targa once again. We shall see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central European Summertime.